Why is my boss so rude to me? This is not a small or insignificant question. It is a question that often arises late at night, when the noise of the day has settled and the mind begins to replay moments that felt humiliating, confusing, or deeply unfair. A sharp comment in front of colleagues, an eye roll when you speak, constant criticism without guidance, or a tone that makes you feel small for simply doing your job. You may wonder if you are too sensitive, if you did something wrong, or if this is simply how work is. But what if this question is pointing to something much deeper than personality clashes or workplace stress? What if the rudeness you are experiencing is not random at all, but part of a larger pattern governed by universal justice? Universal justice operates beyond human systems, policies, and workplace hierarchies. It is not influenced by job titles, power, seniority, or fear. It is a system that observes intention, motive, action, and impact. When viewed through this lens, a rude boss is no longer just an unpleasant individual. They become an active participant in a universal cause and effect cycle. Their behavior is not isolated, and neither is your experience of it. Universal justice asks a different question than most workplace advice does. Instead of asking only how to cope, it asks why this behavior exists, what it reveals about imbalance, and how awareness changes the outcome. Rudeness in positions of authority often stems from unresolved internal conflict. A boss who degrades, dismisses, or intimidates is usually acting from insecurity, fear of exposure, or loss of control. Universal justice recognizes that when someone gains authority without inner accountability, the imbalance manifests outwardly. Power magnifies what already exists within a person. If respect, humility, and integrity are absent, power will amplify arrogance, cruelty, and domination. This is not punishment toward you. It is exposure of them. Unfortunately, the exposure often happens through the experience of others, especially those perceived as less powerful. You may notice that the rudeness feels targeted. It may not happen equally to everyone. Perhaps you are conscientious, observant, or quietly principled. Perhaps you ask questions, notice inconsistencies, or carry a calm strength that does not submit easily to manipulation. Universal justice shows that aggressors often react most strongly to those who unconsciously reflect what they lack. Rudeness then becomes a defensive strategy, a way to suppress discomfort rather than address it. This does not make the behavior acceptable, but it does explain why it feels personal, even when it is not about you at all. Human systems often fail to address this dynamic honestly. Formal complaint channels, performance reviews, and corporate policies are designed to protect structures, not truth. When an employee reports disrespect, the system frequently redirects the problem back onto the employee. Universal justice does not function this way. It does not require permission, witnesses, or paperwork. It records intent and consequence automatically. Every degrading word, every moment of intimidation, every misuse of authority creates an energetic imprint that must eventually be balanced. The delay does not mean injustice. It means accumulation. This is where many people misunderstand universal justice. They expect immediate correction, visible consequences, or public accountability. Universal justice works differently. It allows patterns to reveal themselves fully before correction occurs. A rude boss may appear to thrive for a time, gaining compliance through fear and maintaining control through intimidation. But the very behavior that seems to protect them is what erodes their foundation. Trust diminishes, loyalty disappears, collaboration weakens, and eventually their authority becomes hollow. The system does not collapse because of one complaint. It collapses because of sustained imbalance. Your role within this system is not passive. Universal justice does not require you to endure mistreatment silently, nor does it require reckless confrontation. It requires awareness, alignment, and wise action. When you understand that rudeness is not a reflection of your worth, your internal posture changes. You stop absorbing blame that was never yours to carry. This shift alone alters the dynamic. Aggressors rely on internalized submission. When that submission dissolves, their behavior loses effectiveness. You may still feel anger, sadness, or confusion, and these emotions are valid. Universal justice does not deny human emotion. It contextualizes it. Feeling hurt does not mean you are weak. It means you are human responding to disrespect. What matters is what you do next. Reacting impulsively can entangle you further in the imbalance, while suppressing everything can internalize harm. Universal justice encourages conscious response, not reaction. There is also a deeper layer to consider. Repeated exposure to rude authority figures often points to unresolved patterns carried over time. Universal justice acknowledges that individuals sometimes encounter similar dynamics across different environments, not as punishment, but as invitation. An invitation to recognize boundaries, reclaim voice, and redefine self-respect. When a pattern repeats, it is not asking you to tolerate more. It is asking you to see more clearly. Awareness breaks cycles faster than resistance. This does not mean you caused the behavior. It means you are now in a position to respond differently than before. A rude boss may trigger old conditioning around authority, silence, or fear. Universal justice highlights these moments not to shame you, but to empower you. Once you see the pattern, you can choose differently. You can document instead of internalize, disengage instead of personalize, and prepare instead of panic. It is important to understand that universal justice does not always resolve situations by changing other people. Sometimes it resolves them by relocating you, repositioning you, or removing you from environments that no longer align with your growth. Many people look back and realize that the rude boss they once feared became the catalyst for a necessary transition. What felt like oppression at the time later revealed itself as redirection. Universal justice often clears paths by making old ones uncomfortable to remain on. Still, discernment is essential. Not every situation requires immediate exit, and not every injustice demands confrontation. Universal justice values timing. Acting too early can expose you unnecessarily. Acting too late can drain you. This is why knowledge is power. Understanding how universal justice operates allows you to move strategically rather than emotionally. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this situation revealing, and how do I move wisely within it?" A rude boss may believe they are untouchable. Universal justice does not share that belief. No authority is exempt from consequence. The system is patient, not permissive. Every action carries weight, and every misuse of power must eventually balance itself. Your task is not to enforce justice, but to align with it. When you do, you stop being collateral damage in someone else's unresolved issues. If this resonates with you, it is not by chance. You are likely at a point where awareness is replacing confusion. That shift alone is powerful. However, understanding the principle is only the beginning. Application requires guidance, especially when your livelihood, reputation, and emotional well-being are involved. Acting without understanding the mechanics of justice can create more harm than healing. This is why the advice package exists. It is designed to help you navigate situations like this with clarity, strategy, and alignment with universal justice. It offers insight into how to protect yourself without escalating conflict, how to recognize patterns before they harm you, and how to respond in ways that preserve your dignity and future. The information you receive is not situational. It is lifelong. It equips you for any environment where power is misused and respect is tested. If you are tired of questioning your worth, walking on eggshells, or absorbing disrespect in silence, this is your next step. Follow the link to obtain the advice package and begin engaging with your situation from a place of understanding rather than fear. Universal justice is already at work. The question is whether you will move with it consciously or continue to endure what you were never meant to carry. And if this message brought clarity or comfort, remember to like and subscribe so you can continue receiving guidance rooted in truth, awareness, and justice that operates beyond appearances.